Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to crochet this coaster with a heart design. I thought this would be perfect for Valentine's Day, so I hope you'll be inspired. So I'm using cross stitch for this design. So in each row there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cross stitches. And there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of cross stitches. So for the first row, we are not going to change color of the yarn. However, on the second row of cross stitches, we will change in the middle cross stitch, and so on and so forth until we make our heart design. We need an off-white yarn, 125 inches of pink yarn, size G hook, blunt needle, and a pair of scissors. So let's get started with a knot and chain 17. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Row 1, single crochet in second chain from hook. So 1, 2, single crochet there. And single crochet in each stitch across. And after this row, there would be 16 stitches. And this is how row 1 looks like. Row 2, chain 2 and turn and double crochet on the first stitch here. So double crochet, and then we'll start our first cross stitch. So to cross stitch, skip the next stitch, then go to the next stitch and double crochet there. Double crochet, and then look at this skip stitch. We will go back there and do a double crochet on that skip stitch. So insert hook on that skip stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So that's our first cross stitch. Next cross stitch, so skip again and go to the next stitch, double crochet, yarn over and bring your hook to the back and insert on the skip stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's our second cross stitch. Continue the pattern. So skip and go to the next stitch, double crochet, yarn over, bring your hook to the back and insert in the skip stitch and do a double crochet again. That's the third cross stitch. So continue the pattern of cross stitches until we have 7 cross stitches. So 2 more. And the last cross stitch. And then we will end up with 1 more stitch. Just do a double crochet on that stitch. And this is your row 2. 7 cross stitches on the first row. Row 3, chain 1, turn, and just single crochet in each stitch across. So just like in row 1, there would be 16 stitches in this row. So always 16 stitches of single crochets in between the rows of cross stitches. So this is how row 3 looks like. Row 4, chain 2 again, turn, and double crochet on the first stitch here. And do a cross stitch again, skip, and double crochet on the next stitch. And double crochet on the skipped stitch. We will do 2 more cross stitches, and we will be changing yarn into pink. So another cross stitch, second cross stitch, and then third cross stitch, skip, double crochet, and then double crochet on the skip stitch, but do not end the double crochet. So yarn over, pull through, and stop here. At this point, we will be changing the yarn color into pink. So grab the pink yarn, yarn over on the pink yarn, and pull through 2 loops, finishing your double crochet, just like that. And then tie the 2 yarns together to join it, like so. And then with the pink yarn, we'll continue with the pattern of cross stitch. This will be our 4th cross stitch. But notice the white yarn, we will include it in our stitch so that we can hide that yarn. So double crochet here. So look at the white yarn, include it in the stitch, go to the back and insert in the skip stitch, doing the double crochet. And then since we are changing back to off-white yarn, we will not finish this double crochet. So we stop here and then change, fix it. So grab the off-white yarn again and finish the double crochet, because we are going back to the off-white yarn. So, and then continue the pattern of cross stitches. So this will be our 5th cross stitch. Then our 6th. Seventh cross stitch. And then end the row with a double crochet on the last stitch. So this would be row 4. Row 5, chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each stitch across. So this is a repeat of row 1, but this time, since we change color into pink yarn, we will also change color here. So single crochet, but do not finish it. Just insert hook, yarn over, and pull through, and then move your off-white yarn like so, and grab your pink yarn again and finish the single crochet like this. Then continue with 2 single crochets, hiding the off-white yarn, single crochet on the next stitch. There would be 2 single crochets using pink yarn. And then since we are changing color again, we will not finish the single crochet. So on the last stitch of the single crochet, change back to off-white yarn, yarn over and pull through. So continue the pattern of single crochets across the row. So always check your single crochets. There would be 16 stitches in this row too. So this is how the row looks like after row 5. This is the wrong side of the piece. If I flip it over, this is the right side of the piece. Row 6, chain 2, turn, and double crochet on the first stitch. And let's do our first cross stitch, skip, and go to the next stitch and do a cross stitch. Yarn over, go to the skip stitch and do a double crochet. And let's do one more row of off-white cross stitch. And then stop right here because we will be changing color of yarn into the pink yarn. So from here, grab the pink yarn like this and finish the double crochet. Yarn over and continue with the cross stitch, but first we need to hide our off-white yarn, so I'm placing it next to the stitch where we are going to do a cross stitch so that we can hide it, and we kind of stitch over it like so, like this. So double crochet and go to the skip stitch and do a double crochet. Then continue with 2 more cross stitches of pink yarn. So still hiding the off-white yarn. Double crochet on the skipped stitch and 1 more cross stitch. See the white yarn included in our stitch. And then this is the last double crochet of pink yarn, so do not finish the double crochet, stop here, and then change into off-white yarn again, back to off-white yarn, yarn over, and finish that double crochet. So continue with the cross stitch, 2 more cross stitches. And then the last one, and then end it with a double crochet on the last stitch. And this is how the piece looks like now. Row 7, chain 1, turn, and single crochet again. 2, 3, 4, and then 5th is the last single crochet before changing color. So don't finish that stitch. Move the off-white yarn like this. Grab the pink yarn again because we're going to change color. Yarn over and pull through. pull the white yarn like this and include it in your stitch so that we are hiding it. So cross stitch on the next pink stitch. So cross stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cross stitches of pink yarn. Then stop and then change into off-white yarn again. Yarn over and pull through. And then continue with the cross stitches. So you may want to count 16 stitches again for this row. This is how the piece looks like. So this is the wrong side, and this will be the right side of the coaster. Row 8, chain 2, turn, and double crochet in the first stitch. Now for this row, we will do only 1 cross stitch of white yarn, off-white yarn. So 1 cross stitch, so pull through, yarn over, pull through, and stop, because we are going to change the yarn into pink again. So grab the pink yarn like this and finish the stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now continue with the cross stitch using the pink yarn, but first we need to hide our off-white yarn, so include it in our stitch. So double crochet, yarn over the white yarn, off-white yarn, double crochet on the skipped stitch, and continue. So there would be 5 cross stitches with the pink yarn. So hide our off-white yarn like this. So second cross stitch using the pink yarn. The third, and then the fourth cross stitch, and then the fifth, which is the last cross stitch for the pink yarn. So double crochet on the skip, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and stop. Then change color back into off-white yarn, yarn over and pull through. Then do a cross stitch, 1 more cross stitch, and then end the row with a double crochet on the last stitch. And this is now how the piece looks like. We're getting there. Row 9, so chain 1, turn, and single crochet on the first stitch, another single crochet, and on the third single crochet we will change into pink yarn. So do not finish that single crochet. Place your off-white yarn like this, grab the pink yarn, yarn over, and finish your single crochet. Put the off-white yarn like this and include it in the stitch, and continue with the single crochet using the pink yarn. So there would be 10 single crochets with the pink yarn. So this is the last single crochet for the pink yarn. So yarn over, pull through, and then change color back into off-white yarn. So yarn over and pull through, and then continue with a cross stitch again. So again, 16 stitches for this row. And this is how it looks like now. Wrong side, and then the right side is this one. Row 10, chain 2, turn and double crochet on the first stitch, and then cross stitch, one more cross stitch using off-white yarn, but since we are going to change back into pink yarn, we will hide the pink yarn like this, included in our stitch. So do a cross stitch and then change the color. So for this double crochet, do not finish it on the last stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and stop, and then change into pink yarn, yarn over, and pull through. Now using pink yarn and hiding the off-white yarn, just do a cross stitch, one cross stitch. So stop again here and change back into off-white yarn. Using off-white yarn, another cross stitch. So one cross stitch using off-white yarn. So hide your pink yarn like this. So do a cross stitch and then cross stitch on the skip stitch and stop right here and change back into pink yarn. So yarn over and pull through. Now one cross stitch using pink yarn and hide your off-white yarn like this. So double crochet and double crochet on the skip stitch and stop right here and change back into off-white yarn. And finish the row with the rest of the cross stitches. 2 more cross stitches. And end the row with a double crochet on the last stitch. And this is how it looks like. Row 11, chain 1, turn, and single crochet in each stitch across. So this time we are not changing yarns. We are done with changing yarns, so just pretty straightforward single crochet across the row. And this is how the piece looks like now, and this is the right side of the coaster. Okay, so now for our border, turn your piece like this and slip stitch on the first stitch here. Slip stitch, slip stitch on the next stitch, chain 2, slip stitch, slip stitch, chain 2. So continue the pattern of slip stitch, chain 2, slip stitch, and then we hit the corner, slip stitch on the corner, chain 2, and slip stitch on the same stitch since we are in a corner. So this way the corner is emphasized. Now let's go to the other side, turn this way, and just slip stitch, chain 2 evenly on this side too. So slip stitch, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2. Slip stitch, and then I would make this as the corner, so chain 2, see how it looks like, and then slip stitch on the same stitch since that's my corner, and then just go on to the other side again. Slip stitch on the corner, chain 2, and slip stitch on the same stitch. So this is the corner. And now we'll do the last side. So on this side, just slip stitch, and chain 2 evenly. So slip stitch, chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2. Slip stitch, and then so chain 2, this is the corner, so I'm gonna chain 2, slip stitch on the same stitch, and then I'm gonna fasten off with a slip stitch on the first slip stitch of this side, our first side. And then fasten off. and cut your yarn. This is now how the piece looks like. So let's get our blunt needle and weave ends of the yarns. And we're done.